Hello, and welcome back to A Court of Witches. Today we are going to attempt chapters 25 through 32. See how far we get and how many tangents we take.
No promises.
Yeah. Promise me no promises. Okay, anyway.
Music break.
All right, dance break.
Oh.
Then the beat drop. Okay.
Anyways, chapter 25.
Back to this. The Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas.
So at this point, we are still in. We're in the Moor realm.
Yes.
And chapter 25, you see. Well, you start. Feyre and Rhys go out into like the middle of the, I guess, forest to practice.
Yeah, to practice her powers and stuff.
So on 263, I basically questioned. I was like, why travel into the cold, barren forest to practice shielding? Clearly, that's not what is happening.
Right. Well,
Because Feyre's like, well, aren't we just going to do shielding? And he's just like, no, we're going to do all of this stuff. And she's just like, what?
Well, and I was totally wrapped up in the story at this point, and I did not think of that. And I was just like, I love that he finally trusts her. You know, like he leaves her alone out there to like practice on her own and like sending her little notes and the food. And like, I was like, oh, this is cute.
I also question, do you think people feel part of their powers missing?
I don't know. I feel like she asks that too a lot in the story. And I'm just like,
But it's like, Rhys doesn't say anything.
Right. But like, they're also...
He's like aware. So I don't know if...
Yeah.
Or if like maybe the power between them is like the bond, or he's assuming it's the bond, or even like the mating bond that hasn't necessarily clicked into place. But Tamlin never even questioned anything. He just assumed that it could happen.
Right.
Tam's kind of fucking idiot though. So
right. I was gonna say I
don't trust his perception on anything. Tamlin the tampon. Anyways, next page. I have something on 264 if you do.
I just said on page 263, I like how when she was like, I can't do that, he was like, then maybe try shapeshifting. Like he knew exactly which buttons to push. Like maybe try Tamlin's power.
Well, if you're not going to try anybody's power, then that's the last one.
Right.
So quit your bitching and try one.
And then on 264, I just said the flirtation. Because they're like all flirty, and I was excited about it.
You're excited about it? You know what I said?
What?
I was like, Rhys said certain body parts, I would rub my feet on it, something like he doesn't like. I don't like feet, so I feel like...
Neither does Brittany.
And that would be my one thing to, like, go to. Like, I'd be like, how my foot? How my disgusting, gross foot?
I don't, like, hate feet. I mean, I need them to be clean, but, like... I'm not going to put the toes in my mouth or anything, but I think feet are cute sometimes. I don't know.
Well, it's like, babe, will you rub my feet? And I'm like, bleh, no.
Well, Brittany is. She will not even touch my feet.
And he'll be like, why? I just showered. They're clean. It does not matter. You could soak them for 7 years and I do not want to touch them. Like, it does not matter how long, how clean they are. I do not want them. And then he's like, I rub your feet. Well, that's your fault for liking feet and being okay with them. I don't ask you for it often.
Oh my gosh. Hilarious.
Anyways, the flirtation is kicking up a notch and I really, really enjoy it, but I definitely would have been like, yeah, my foot. You're probably thinking boobs, ass, or anything of that sort, and I'm like, feet.
Because you are sadistic.
No.
That's Slytherin coming out. Oh my god.
That's so true. That's hilarious. Anyways.
And then my next thing was until page 265.
Yeah.
And all I said was, oh fuck, the Ador.
Oh, right. So I didn't even comment on that. My comment was, why insist on training with Rhys if you're just going to send him back?
Right. Just practice on your own.
Literally, he's like, you insisted on training with me this morning. Oh yeah, you seem so insistent that I train you. And then she's like, I can't concentrate with you around. And just go far. I can feel you from a room away. It's like, but why insist on training with him?
Right. Ask somebody else.
Like, if you're going to do fighting, I can understand, like, going with somebody else.
Yeah.
But, like, your powers... Like, who of all people should train with you? Fucking Reese. He's got powers of his own.
Right, and if not, like, then train by yourself. Like, if you're going to train by yourself anyway, then just train by yourself. Don't ask him to come with you.
Exactly. Oh, I did
like
put...
He's going to put you in a cage and not let you go.
I did put dun-dun-dun, the Ator. So I guess I did comment on it. Sorry. Okay. Anyways, chapter 26.
Yeah.
So the Ator is back and took her.
Yeah, I was just
Didn't take her anywhere, but like grabbed
right, because like Reese gets there right away and like stops it from happening.
Thank God for
like,
winnowing.
Right, they like save her or whatever. But I'm just like, didn't the Ator expect that? Like, does he not know about the bond?
Well, it says that in the moments, or he vanished in the moments after Amarantha died.
Oh, that's true.
So he might just assume she's like a human still. Like easy to kill, like real quick before.
But then wasn't he trying to take her though?
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't know.
If you're not a fae, you're not, I guess, strong really. You're
That's
not.
true.
So it would be easy just to
and
go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, Ator wasn't very smart either.
That's true.
So
I was just like, what?
He fell right into Reese's trap.
Yeah, he did.
And honestly, listen, the Ator is scary and looks alone and like sound and all of that. Mm-hmm. But he is such a bitch. The slightest threat and he's fucking down.
Yeah, like literally.
Everyone's like, oh, the Ator is terrifying. And I'm like, is he
Lucky.
though? He looks terrifying, but he's a real soft teddy bear who can't stand being touched.
That's like when they're like, you know, people are always like, oh, you're so funny. And then they're like, funny looking. That's the Ator. He's terrifying looking. That's it.
True. What was it? Yeah, I don't know. It was just ridiculous.
Oh, right. That's what she did. I wrote down, she did it. I love it. And then I was like, what did she do? But then, like, what is Az going to do to the Ator? Like, I want to know, but I don't want to know.
I want to be a fly on that wall. I want to see.
Right.
On 267, I said, why, oh, why does the cranky old king want Feyre?
Because I feel like he knows.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's an ancient king. I think he's older than anybody that is living
and also
currently.
Because, like, I wonder sometimes if, like, Ianthe, because that's where they were, right? Her and her family were, like...
She wasn't in Hybern. She was on the other continent. She was on the actual continent.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Prithian was the only one that fell to whatever happened.
Okay. I don't know.
It was fine.
I still feel like there's something, he's got something, he knows something.
He might be onto something. Oh, and then on that exact same page, Azrael comes in and he's like freaking out because of Reese and because of Azrael, and it's like Azrael slammed into the snow, sending it flying like water from a puddle. He flown in so silently I hadn't heard the beat of his wings. There was no kindness on Azrael's face as the snow settled. The immovable mask of the High Lord's shadow singer. The Ator began trembling, and I almost felt bad for it as Azrael stalked to him. And I was like, see? Told you.
Yeah.
Sees Azrael, and he's pissing himself. Already.
Right. Which, I mean, fair, to be honest, but like...
Azrael is fucking terrifying. Honestly, if I had to pick who was more terrifying, it'd be Azrael, because he looks nice, but he is dangerous.
Right? And like,
Ator looks terrifying, but he can't do none.
He's like a puppy.
Go do that. No, thank you.
Right. Like,
yes, mommy dearest. Anyway.
My next thing was until page 270, which is like the last page of the chapter.
My next thing was about how terrifying Azrael is. I was like, that's terrifying. Azrael is scary because 268, she's like questioning, like, will he kill him and all that. Where is it? It's like he didn't even do anything, but you could just see like the small flicker. Well, actually, I don't even know if it was a small flicker. Oh, rippling blue light. Oh yeah, it flickered. Blue fire that came out of his siphons as he reached for the actor, and the actor couldn't scream before the spy master vanished. And it's like, he can literally travel in shadows.
Right.
Like, that's terrifying.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you can winnow anywhere you want, but no, he, like, there's a shadow anywhere and everywhere you go.
Right.
It does not matter. Like, he could be there, and it's, oh my God.
Yes, there's not a single place. I mean,
you are free.
Right.
Don't piss off Azrael or the High Lord.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But, I mean, his tactics worked.
True.
He said, what, like an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Or not even an hour? I don't know where that was.
Yeah, and then Reese starts being a dick again. And he's like pushing her buttons to get her to do what he wants, like to.
It's like that mental block. So he's
Yeah.
like trying to get through to it.
Yeah, he's like pushing her buttons to try to pull out what he knows she can do. And then she does it. Like
Right.
she winnows and tackles him into a
Right.
tree.
And like chapter 27 was only a page and a half.
Yeah.
So it was really short. And all I said was, I know being upset with what happened, but like the way she acted was a little much. Like, it was really dramatic. But it's true. Like, she did forget. So like,
she did, but I also like, after everything with Tamlin and being used as like a pretty princess and like a pawn in his plans without being told anything,
true.
not being told anything would aggravate my trauma, I feel.
Yeah, I can get that. But at least it's not the same trauma.
It's not. And he didn't lock her in a.
Like, he's using her as like a tactic to see how it was or whatever. And it's like, clearly, if he could send you into the Weaver by yourself, like, he trusts you to handle yourself.
Yeah.
And at this point, he's like ensuring that you have the head in the game when you need to.
Yes.
Well,
and then I said she knows how to push his buttons too, because like at the very end, like of the chapter, he's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, why does the king want me? Blah, 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 blah. That's what I'm going to find
you
out.
thirsty.
And then he said, I'm sorry. He repeated, hands still stretched out. Let's eat breakfast and go home. And she goes, Valaris isn't my home. Like,
But it is. Like,
don't be a bitch.
Yeah, I mean.
And then hurt flashes in his eyes. Like, it's just like she knows how to push his buttons too. She was like, poke, poke, poke.
Right. And it's like, he knows what you're thinking, what you're feeling at all times. Like, he knows exactly what's going through your head or what you're feeling. And so it's like, he already knows that you think Valaris is more like home than anywhere else that you've ever been. So just to say that out of spite is a bitch move. Yeah. I would also do it, though. I know. Well, when you're pissed off at that moment, you gotta hit it where it hurts.
Yes. I mean, no, that's not healthy, but I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, anyways, chapter 28.
Chapter 28. Oh my gosh, I have things to say about chapter 28. Lots of things. But first of all, Cassian and Nesta with a heart is the first thing I wrote down on page 271, which is the first page, because I just love them and their interaction. Like, they're just like having a whose dick is bigger contest, and I love it.
Nesta's winning.
Right. Nesta's winning, which is even better. It makes me super happy.
Okay, so on like 274, when when Feyre's like reintroduced back into like the scene, she's basically talking about how she had her feet up. She like was sitting by the fire. She had like rose tea, I think it was. Rose tea steaming on the low table before me, and like just before a fire. And I was just like, man, I would love to prop my feet up and read a book with rose tea and some ambiance, add some rain or a thunder or fire to the mix, and I would cease to be an extrovert.
My favorite thing to do in the summer, like when it's like a soft rain, is to set up my hammock in the garage and open the garage door and just read and like watch the rain. I've actually fallen asleep out there doing that before.
That is such a Midwestern thing to do.
Right?
I mean, maybe it's not so Midwestern. Maybe it's like consistent with a lot of people, but I just feel like that's what you see in the Midwest.
Right.
It's like storm watchers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, storm watchers. This is going to be a really random tangent. Hi, Mom. We're going to talk about your wedding. So at my mom's wedding, I married my mom and stepdad, and as we were out there, like taking pictures and like having the reception, we saw no less than 3 funnel clouds. And Brittany's like, should we go inside? And I was like, nah, this is the country. We're all like up on a hill taking pictures. Like,
This is the only way to take the wrath of God.
right. I was like, going in this house is not going to save us. So, like, anyway, Brittany was like, y'all are crazy. Like, what are we doing?
She's like, I'm about to run back to the house. I'll see you when you're dead.
Meanwhile, like, then, like, later that night, it starts pouring down rain. And everybody was like, half the people ran inside, like, grabbed the electronics, the sound system and stuff, and ran inside. And then, like, half the guys like went back and forth to get the rest of the guests from the tent to get them inside, because it was like it didn't have sides, it was just like an open air tent. Anyway, I digress, but that's a funny story that made me think of Midwestern things.
Oh, storm chaser, that's funny.
It was hilarious. Brittany was like, what are we doing?
So start on two, or not start, but at the end of 274, Reese comes back and starts telling like Feyre about what happened, and he goes, well, I'll show you what happened. And so then basically we like go through the mind of Reese and we see what happened to the actor, and honestly it's quite a terrifying scene.
It is. I also wrote on 274, I like that he let her decide what she could handle.
Right.
Like he was like, it's
like,
up
I'll
to
tell
you,
you it
Feyre.
all.
Yeah. It's up to you, Feyre, to decide how much of our methods you want to know about, what you can handle. What we did to the Attor wasn't pretty. And like she says, I want to see it. And he's like, okay. Like Tamlin would never.
Right. Tamlin's like, wouldn't even have said anything to her.
Right.
Like,
he wouldn't have even spoken to
First
her
of all, Attor wouldn't even gotten within 47,000 feet of her.
Right. Right. Well, they wouldn't have been in the mortal realm anyway. Like he would not have let her go.
Maybe he's working with Hybern. Spring Court.
Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think Lucien would. I mean, maybe just Tamlin.
Well, here's the thing about Lucien, though. Like, he has a strong sense of right or wrong and knows what he should and shouldn't be doing. However, he also has a strong sense of loyalty, especially to somebody who took him in and cared for him when he was essentially the bastard child of this family.
That's true. And I guess I could see Ianthe manipulating. I couldn't see Tamlin being like in league with Hybern without like being manipulated into it.
And I think that would be a great idea.
I could see Ianthe manipulating him into it for sure, though.
Yeah. But there was like there was like a part on 275 where I put took sure, but I don't remember where it was. Oh, there it is. At the very bottom of the page, the actor said, do you think it's not common knowledge that you took her from Tamlin? It's like, sure.
Yeah, okay.
More took her, to be real.
Right, right.
To be honest, she did it by the book, too. So, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Good thing she sent that letter.
That's my next thing is on page 277. And it's about the letter. Well, partially about the letter. But also, at the top of the,
276?
277.
I have just see the actor is a bitch. Listen in an hour.
Oh, she says, at the bottom of 276, she says, what situation with the spring court? And then Reese says, none as of right now, but you know how far Tamlin can be driven to protect what he thinks is his. And I was just like, and then she starts thinking about like the day that he ruined the study because she said that she was suffocating. And Reese is like, I should have sent more that day. Like,
and I put, yeah, Reese, you should have sent more that day. And then I also put, she sees freedom at Valar. I put here in Valaris as if I was there, but she sees freedom in Valaris, not the Spring Court, which is really nice to see someone feeling
and starting
accepted
to heal a little bit. Like, and then her letter to Tamlin was like super simple, but like also a little naive, because I feel like, do they really think Tamlin's going to believe that she wrote that? Because as far as Tamlin knows,
she can't read or write.
Yeah. Like,
and he never bothered to ask.
Right. So like, as far as he knows, somebody else wrote that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
because he wouldn't recognize the handwriting either.
Right, because she couldn't write when he was and didn't have any need to learn. Like,
right. And honestly, I wouldn't have I would have started off with like a left of my own free will, but I would be like the consistent. Like I would have explained like, look, you drove me to do this,
right,
because of what you've done, what I've asked you to do, and then what you would repeatedly broke,
right,
promise wise.
And I'm great for all that you did for me and all that you gave.
She didn't do shit other
Right,
than
what
save
did
the
he
family.
do for you other than give your family
money?
Yeah, like,
ugh.
Whatever. 278. I said date night, yay, because I was excited about the idea of them going on a date night. They never actually call it that. I was excited.
Yeah. I absolutely love Amryn. She's so funny.
Oh my god.
I read on 279.
Do you want to see? Oh, I was on 280, but go ahead.
Oh, on 279, what is it? I don't really remember why I put that. Maybe just in general, because I know she's funny.
Yeah, I know she was talking about the race.
Quits.
I didn't even want to know how those two were conceived. Hi, Faye will stick their cocks anyway.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it. Race for nothing but shadow and mist, able to walk through wall, stone, you name it. I don't even want it to work. That was it. That was it. I was like, man,
Amryn is the best. My next, like, 3 things are about Amryn. So, first of all, it seems like Azriel does not trust Amryn. Like, because, like, the spies are there, like, spying on what she's doing. I don't know.
I think it's just, I mean, what is Amryn?
Right.
She was in the prison for millennia, and then now
so she's like,
she's out in a different, yeah, so he's probably like.
And then I need you to see that I wrote in all fucking caps.
I know, I told you.
Like, what? Keep it. There's no magic to it. You lied.
It's called psychology, bitch. She fooled you.
Oh my god, I was dying.
I was like, I was sitting there and I was telling Will about that last night. I had to work on that project and I was like, man, I'm not gonna be able to focus to get this done. It's like it had to be like 8 pages, but like what we were going on, like the example was like 8 pages, and I was like, oh, son of a bitch, what am I gonna do? And he was like, well, I guess I can give you one of my like Adderalls to kind of help you. And I was like, I don't even know if that would work. And he goes, well, didn't it work last time? And I was like, well, here's the thing. I don't know if it worked because like it actually worked, or if my brain was just thinking, I have Adderall in my system, I can get this done, like placebo effect. And I was like, honestly, I would love to be part of a study to see how like accurate that is. And honestly, I would be like, yeah, this is a sugar pill, cool. Oh, my headache's gone. Knew it. Every single day I sit there and everyone's like, why don't you take medicine for that? And I was like, because it probably doesn't fucking work. I'll take it and all of a sudden it'll just be like placebo effect. I mean, whatever works. I'm that
I am here
conspiracy theorist.
No, I hear you though. Like, I'm here for the placebo effect if it works though. Like,
honestly.
But honestly, sometimes when I have a headache, like if I just like relax and tell myself I don't have a headache, I can make it go away.
See? It's all about the psych. Yeah. It really is. That's what I say. I'll just sit there, and the only time I can't get rid of the headache is if it's like a sinus problem, but that's like a legitimate, like, if it's a tension headache, then that's one thing. But anyways.
Yeah. That's all I had for chapter 28.
I have 2 more. So on page 280, I put, you would think Feyre would get it by now that Rhys is so different. So it's she's talking about the tithe, and Amryn's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Really, what is that?
And she's like, taxes, whatever, like twice a year. And she goes, there are taxes on Sunnydale, but there's no tithe. But the High Lord of Spring enacts one. And it's like, oh, what? That's so weird. No, it's not.
Right.
Like, he's clearly different. He's showing you everything.
Times.
Like, he walks the fucking streets and sees his people and no one bows to him, and like no one grovels at his feet. Like, they just give a nice courteous wave and not acknowledge him and then walk and be on their happy merry way. Like, he is so different. Like, he is a dweller of his people, not a king,
Right.
like the High Lord.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna be a grumpy old king one day. Anyways, and then I also put, something about the amulet. She was like, I found it at the bottom of my jewelry box. You need something to believe that you can get out of the prison again. But Reese kept looking at it. And she's like, because he gave it to me 200 years ago. He's probably surprised to see it again. And I wondered why I'd given it to you. Likely worried that I might have given it to, or why I'm, oh God, Jesus Christ.
Try again.
Likely worried why I might have given it to you. And then she just walks away. You're welcome. And then I just put, Amren is cunning with her little stint. Like, that is so smart.
Yes.
And then there's another reason I put that Reese equals a Slytherin, and I don't remember why. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, at the very top
he
of
values loyalty, cunning, compassion.
Yeah, the Court of Dreams is founded on 3 things: to defend, honor, and to cherish. Were you expecting brute strength and obedience? Top officials have little to no power. He values loyalty, cunning, of compassion, and Azrael, despite his disobedience, is acting to defend his court, his people. So no, reason does not punish that. There are rules, but they are flexible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my man's a Slytherin.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
And of course, he's with the Gryffindor. Love you, babe. He's a Gryffindor too.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of Ravenclaws up in this house. Well, me and Britt are anyway.
What's her mom?
I don't know. We have not had her take the test.
Kelly.
Hello.
Chapter 29.
I feel like she's probably a Hufflepuff though,
I can see that.
or she could be a Slytherin, but I probably a Hufflepuff.
See, my problem is that sometimes I feel like Slytherin and Hufflepuffs can be like interchangeable in a way. Because I mean, they're similar, but like the way they go about things are different.
Yeah, she's just very like caring and takes care of people, and
Right, which could be seen as like
and
a Slytherin because of the loyalty, the
could
like
be.
the cunning, the like
Yeah,
getting what they want, how they want, when they want, kind of thing. I don't know.
could be. I don't know. She's either a Slytherin or Hufflepuff, I would say.
All the times I've said that I was like, oh, you're a Hufflepuff for sure. I was fucking wrong. They were Slytherin, and I was like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Oh my god, I would literally have put money down that Dan was a Hufflepuff, and he's not. He was a Gryffindor.
Huh?
I know, right?
No, Hufflepuff all the way.
I
Dan.
would have put money down that he was a Hufflepuff.
I'm gonna get him a honey badger and be like, "Here you go." You're like, "What the fuck is this?" Hufflepuff.
Yeah, he probably would because he watches the movies, but he's not as into Harry Potter as we are.
Oh, that's funny. Anyways, what chapter? Oh, 29.
Chapter 29. Should we do a break first?
Actually, yeah, you're right. I'll talk about this book.
Cool.
This other book. Okay. So, in honor of, I don't know if it's National or International Holocaust Day. I think it's specifically for those who practiced the Jewish faith in like remembrance of all those who were lost or something like that. I'm actually going to look that up, but I think it's opening. Oh, International Holocaust Remembrance Day is what it is. It's technically January 27th, but there is one. There is one in April. Yom HaShoah. I don't speak Hebrew. I also don't speak Hebrew at all in the play, so I do not know what that is. But it falls during the week of April 19th through April 26th, with April 21st being the actual Holocaust Remembrance Day. It was the systematic murder of approximately 6 million Jews by the Nazis and their collaborators. So the play opens up a few days after that. So in honor of an International Holocaust Remembrance Day, there is a book called A Thorn in the Side, The Story of Johnny Hopper. So this is about a real guy. The author, Bill Knapp, Knapp. Actually, it's a graphic novel. He illustrated this book. He wrote all about this book. He actually interviewed, not the real guy, but he interviewed somebody who works at the Smithsonian or has affiliates with the Smithsonian who actually interviewed the real person or somebody of the real person. I didn't understand the concept behind that. But anyways, he got information about like the real stories of this guy. So this guy, Johnny Hopper, I believe he was British, and he had this wife, and he essentially just, oh, it's on the back. Johnny Hopper was British born, although raised in France. As the Nazi blitzkrieg rolled over mainland Europe, Hopper was determined to live life on his own terms and fought back any way he could. Much more than just a war story, a thorn in the side is this tale of perseverance and the refusal of one man to accept another power dictating the path his life would take. So there's like a story, I think, that that happens in there, or I think it's illustrated. I haven't actually had a chance to read this yet, but the author was telling me about it because he's in my play. But basically this guy and his wife leave their newborn baby with her parents in England or someplace, not anywhere near war. And they go and become part of the resistance essentially. And they go into war-torn areas and they like blow up train tracks. They blow up caches of like the Germans. They attack like tanks. Like they literally are the resistance, like fighting back.
Nice.
They lived. And I think they helped Jews in the long run, at least through destroying any and all resources that the Germans had. But it's a really cool graphic novel book. Can't really get it online. Sorry. But if you can somehow find a copy of it, I recommend looking into it. It's a graphic novel. Took 7 years to make, a lot of hard work, and it looks really, really cool. So yeah, it's actually really cool to like learn a little bit more about history. And if you don't want to read the story, that's fine. You can look them up instead. Yeah. Johnny Hopper, or Ian Johnny Hopper is the name.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways. Should I talk about the other thing or just continue?
We can just continue.
All right, cool. Anyways, chapter 29.
Chapter 29.
What happens during this? Oh, this is where they go on their date. Not date, but
they go out to like dinner, right?
Yeah, the whole Court of Dreams.
Yes.
Goes out to dinner.
Are you okay?
That was the gurgling I was talking about.
Emily's stomach just made a really impressive noise. I don't know if you could hear it on the.
I hope not.
Or not, but that's why I'm laughing. Anyway, chapter 29. On page 281, it's this first page of the chapter. I am living for Amryn being a crazy sports fan.
I know.
I love that. That makes me so excited.
And it's funny because it's like, was a vicious, obsessive supporter of one sport.
Yes. I
want to know what kind of sports they have, though.
Right?
Because I'm very confused about timeline, about like, what year is it that this whole thing takes place? And if they have flushing toilets, is it like the 1800s? Is it like early 1900s? Like, it can't be that in a different like timeline kind of thing.
Right.
But it's like, when the fuck is this happening? So like,
For real though,
what kind of sports do they have? Is it jousting? Is it like cricket? I don't know.
Right.
I'm trying to think of old school like sports.
Yeah, I know.
Is it like the Mayan ball thing?
Yeah, or you like put it through the. I was just thinking that.
I don't know.
The rings.
I don't know any other sport.
Like croquet.
Yeah, like
is it race?
Yeah.
Inquiring minds would like to know, Sarah J. Maas.
The Olympics.
Yeah,
that's all I can think of. Like old school Roman Olympics.
Right, like charioteering. And,
yeah,
like
it's endless. Ugh. Anyways, yeah, that's funny. I put how she describes being in this city is what I want. Like, I'm so over small places. I grew up in a small town where, because it's like, oh, you could see symphonies, or you could see orchestras here, or you could do this, or you could do that, go to concerts, go to art galleries. And I'm just like, I could go to a cornfield and drink till I was blacked out, wasted in the middle of it at 2:00 in the morning for no fucking reason.
Right.
Nothing else to do except for listen to stupid country music.
Yep. There's cornfields. There's some woods.
And it's like the cool thing, not the cool thing, I wouldn't say, because I mean, I was kind of like not poor, but I wasn't like with the in crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't really invited to all the cool mansions in the local area or mansions of my hometown size.
Mm-hmm.
But we would just get into a car and drive literally down Main Street, and then we make a left turn and then go down like perpendicular.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we did. We just made like a big ass T in all of town, and that's all we did until we found something to do. And then half the time we never did anything. So we would just sit there and jam to music, see who walks the streets, and then yell at them, and then stupid and be done with it.
Yep.
I would love to walk the streets of New York and be like, I'm going to go to dinner here, and then I'm going to go see Broadway, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go to this cute nightclub where I can have drinks until God knows when, and I can go home, and I can just see the lights glittering off in the distance. Like,
yeah, no, I know. And we were talking about that yesterday, that like my dad's girlfriend was talking about how her daughter wants to leave
girl, do it.
Indiana. And I was like, honestly, if it weren't for family and Brittany, because Brittany doesn't want to leave, she doesn't like change. But if it weren't for family, I would be straight up out of here. Like,
come on, Brittany, just come with us.
let's say, and it might be more Brittany than family, because I can come visit my family. I
That's
only
true.
see them a couple times a year anyway, so.
Honestly, when I, none of my family members listen to this, and if they do, oops. My aunt texted me asking me for my address, and I was like, oh, well, that's not the current one. The current one right now is going to be this, but it's going to change in the next few months because I'm moving to South Carolina. And she's just like, oh, you really are moving? And I was like, yeah, I've just been saying this for a year that I've been wanting to do this, and now I actually have the ability and the chance, and it's not like I'm going to be paying for everything myself. Like, I split in the bills. It's easier, and I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, have you talked to your dad? And it's like, yeah, he was the first one I talked to. Like, what is the... Well, I just don't know how to break it to your grandmother. Have you told the rest of the family? And I was like, no offense, but I don't think any of the family gives a shit about me. Ever since my mom died, and I've sat here and been more outspoken than I've ever been in my entire life, I really don't think they give a shit. So, no, I haven't said anything. Well, I can go ahead and alert them. And I'm like, you're not even going to, like, acknowledge what I just said? You're just, okay, well, I'll tell them. And I'm like, okay,
Thanks, bye.
this is exactly what I'm talking about. And she's like, well, we're just going to miss you at all the family gatherings. So I was like, well,
Are you though?
nobody celebrates Easter anymore, and I don't even want to fucking celebrate Easter because it's a pagan holiday, and you're making it Christian. Y'all are stupid. And excuse my stomach. I saw the bar actually go up a little bit on that. Oh God, I'm sorry. Listen, I've had a fever for a few days, and I've been chugging Pedialyte and just chugging. I'm fever free for at least 48 hours. They broke Friday.
Okay.
But I've been chugging Pedialyte and water to keep hydrated, and then like that's all I've been drinking. So it's like the amount of air that I'm chugging into my system is insane. Anyways, and she's like, well, I don't know how to tell your grandmother. I'm like, well, I already told her. And well, what did she say? Well, she's upset because she's like, well, when am I gonna see you? When do you see me now? I live an hour away from you. When do you see me now? Well, I would just like to see you more often. I'm like, yeah, that's my fault. Like, I will admit that's my fault. I don't enjoy going back to Peru. I have to pass Mom's grave every time. I have to visit my father. There's no place to sit in Dad's house except for one fucking seat in the entire place because he's renovating because he's depressed. And it's like, I just don't want to go back.
I don't like going home either.
It's like traumatic, and it gives me great anxiety to go home.
Yes, I was just talking about that yesterday. Literally driving home, for no matter what the purpose, like driving back home, my stomach hurts.
Yeah.
Like even if we're going for like a birthday party or like.
It doesn't matter. And like Christmas came, and Will's like, are you going to be okay? And I'm like, you know what? Like, it's going to fucking suck.
Yeah.
And all the way there, I was like, God, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And it's like, you shouldn't feel like that with your family.
Right. Well, and like, I don't always, like, once I get there, depending on where I'm going, I don't always feel that way. But like, going back home, I always feel sick.
Right. And my thing is I don't do well with my emotions, and I've never been very well with my emotions. If I cry in front of somebody, it's like a quick relapse of my wall broke for a second, then it's going to be right back up. But it's like my dad cries all the time. He's a very, very emotional person, and like now that mom's gone, like he cries over anything and everything. And like I know he said like, well, yeah, after your mom passed, and he didn't cry. I was like, whoa, we've made some strides in the last 3 years. But it's like one little thing that reminds him of her, and he's just breaking down crying, and then I'm just like, okay, great. Now what do I do? Like, I'm not crying. Like, I'm medicated. Like, I'm not crying. I'm sad, but I'm not sad. Like, it's really awkward.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
And then I just go into a panic attack. Anyways, sorry. Enough about that. Anyways, I just don't like small towns.
I don't either. I don't like Indiana. I would be on my way if I could.
Right? Growing up, I was like, I want to go live in the East Coast. Like, I'm going to go live there. But then now that I got older, I'm like, no, West Coast.
Yeah, like I don't want California, but like I think it would be amazing to go to like Washington, like Seattle, or
the vibes and just
store.
Yeah, right. The vibes of just like the West Coast is just completely different than the East. Like, it's very chill. I don't want to say surfer dude, like,
no, but like it's like more like
relaxed. Yeah.
I think I could also be successful in New York, but I just couldn't afford to move there.
Right. Yeah.
But
although it's kind of weird because I'll be like, man, the price or the cost of living is like $5,400 for like a small ass apartment. But then I realized like, oh, well, you actually get paid that amount of money to like make that work. And it's, I mean, that's the small town idea. It's like, oh, that's expensive. I will never be able to make anything work there. It's because I'm getting paid like fucking shit in Indiana. I can't even make an $800 rent payment.
Right. For the amount of education I have, I make an extremely low amount of money.
Right.
And it makes me angry. But I digress. I could talk about that all day.
We'll
Moving back to this.
Or self-help.
So like, quit your bitching.
Yeah, right. This is just how we quit our bitching. I have some on 285.
On 283, I was just like, I like how normal everything seems. Like they're just
right, like it's
chilling.
Just chill, relaxed.
And then I love that Amryn on page 284 like pushes the food around her plate to make it look like she's eating, but like she's not. And then she was just like so surprised and like grateful when the owner of the restaurant brought her a goblet of blood.
You spiced it nicely.
Yeah.
It's like, did she add spice to it?
Right.
Or was it like spice that, I don't know. Like,
yeah, right.
How did it happen?
I don't know how that works, but I love that scene.
So I put something about, what is it? Oh, so on 285, they, like, the group starts to disperse. So Cassie and Azriel and Moore all go to Rita's, which is a known club, essentially. And, Amryn went back inside to get another, like, to-go container of this blood so she can go home and gorge herself. And Reese is like, well, I'm tired. Like, I just want to go home. Like, let's just go. And so, like, then they start separating. She's like, why blood? And he goes, it doesn't seem polite to ask. And I'm like, I would make it seem like I was curious. Like, what are you?
Right. Well, and like, it doesn't seem polite to ask, but also like, I need to know, like, are you going to try to drink? Like, what? Am I in danger?
Yeah, like, call me a stupid mortal. I don't care. Like, I want to know.
Right. I need answers.
Like, you grow up as a mortal thinking Fae is like the end all be all of monsters, and all of a sudden you get someone like Amryn, and you're like, fuck.
Right. Like, ooh.
The whole world changed. She came from another dimension. Oh, multiverse.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah. So
also,
honestly, I would totally ask. I'd be like, fuck it, kill me. I want to know first. Like, tell me, then you can kill me for being rude. I don't care. I will die knowing you're a secret.
If I tell you I have to kill you, that's fine.
I will know at least.
Oh my god.
My afterlife will not be spent questioning what you are.
Oh my god. Okay. So on that same page, I was just cracking up at the idea of them going dancing. Of like Azriel and Cassian going dancing. I know. I was just cracking
up. You
up.
see them and you're like, oh, so they're just gonna go home and brood all night long and like train and sharpen their knives like what Lucia did or whatever.
Right.
Or what Tamlin didn't do shit.
Right.
That's all he did. And then fuck Feyre. That's all he did. And and that's what you would assume would happen. And then all of a sudden they're just like, fuck it, let's go dancing.
Right. With their wings.
Do you think they do like you know how girls take their dresses and like
Oh my god, I hope
they
so.
take their wings, just go. I'm a pretty princess. Imagine a guy with like bat-like wings. I'm a pretty princess.
Shadows like slitting out of it. And his little jewels on his hands.
That one over there is Hazriel. He's a shadow singer, but he's a pretty princess.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
I've only had 3 hours of sleep.
Plenty of sleep, but I'm still cracking up.
I went to bed at like 4 o'clock and I woke up at 7:30 and I've been up ever since.
Oh my gosh. I went to bed at about midnight. Well, it was probably like closer to 1 o'clock, and then I woke up at about 9. So I got a good 8 hours. But
oh,
also, why did I write that? 286.
What did you write? I can't even help you.
I wrote, Feyre has some biases against High Lords that she still needs to work on.
Oh. Oh. Some about,
Oh, at the bottom. She's like, why are your houses on the other side of the river if this is your favorite view? And he says, because I wanted a quiet street so I could visit this clamor whenever I wished and then have a home to retreat to. And she said, you could have just reordered the city. And he said, why the hell would I change one thing about this place? And she said, isn't that what High Lords do? Whatever they please. Like, I feel like, yes, your first experience with a High Lord was Tamlin, and yes, he does whatever the fuck he pleases.
and
like,
he also acts like a king, and coming from the mortal realm and like lords and like not high lords, but like lords of the mortal realm, they probably act the same way.
Right. But like, do you really think that Rhys went through everything he went through under the mountain to keep this place a secret?
He was a whore for 50 years.
To just come home and change it around so he could have the rainbow
right
in front of his house? Like, that,
I'm sure he could see it from his house.
Right, that's very out of character. And he can fucking fly and winnow. So, like, if he wants to get there,
yeah, right,
he can just get there.
He can literally visit whenever he wants.
Right.
My thing is the way some of the wording is, and like how like Valaris is described, it reminds me of like San Francisco hills.
Yeah,
but when they're like goes up the street or whatever, and it's like, oh, like they're just probably just literally going up the street a little bit, but like I'm thinking like hills because they're in the middle of the mountain.
So I usually think of like Paris, like in the way that their streets are like twisty and turny and like in between buildings.
Yeah, like old school.
Yeah, that's what I usually envision when I read about Valaris.
On 287. Rhys goes like, there are many great things that I wish to do and don't get to. And she's like, I hadn't realized how close we were standing. So when you buy jewelry for Amryn, is it to keep yourself in a good graces or because you're together? And I was like, is that jealousy I hear?
Mm-hmm.
And then he like talks about how like he invited her to her bed and then he just laughed herself hoarse.
I love that though. I can see it. I can just see this little petite little girl like just cracking.
Do you want to come back to my bed?
No.
I'll fucking drink your blood, bitch.
I'm like 1,000 years old or millennia old, and
I have, how would she put it? I have specific tastes. She probably likes when the men are like tied up so she could just torture them. She's a dominatrix.
Oh my god, I cannot.
I can see that though. Oh my god.
I totally could.
Anyways, yeah, that was jealousy. And then she's like continuing like, well, you didn't marry anyone.
Right. She's just like being annoying.
Right. And then she's like, well, maybe he didn't want anybody because of like what happened to him under the mountain. I'm like, honestly though, like if I was used for my body for like 50 years, I probably wouldn't want to be anywhere near anyone.
Right. Wouldn't want to be touched. I'd just be by myself for
But maybe that's like the female. I know like males can get raped and like they have different feelings on it too, but like maybe that's how women feel. Like maybe that's why we think that way.
Could be.
I've never actually asked like
Well, and it could
a
be
male
too
how
that
they would
like
act, but
it could be too that like he doesn't necessarily consider it rape because
his duty. What he
yeah,
had to
like
do.
he was doing it to protect other people. So like it was still rape. It still was not okay. Like he was coerced, but like I feel like maybe he was doing it for noble reasons. So like he doesn't think of it that way. Like I don't know. Either way, gross. But on 287, I just said I'm glad we're starting to learn more about the history of the night court. Like we hear about how the Court of Nightmares used to truly be a court of nightmares, and
and then he's doing anything and all that. On 289, there's a section. So they start talking about like Cassian, Moore, and Azriel. And how like Azriel will usually give what Moore wants, like give into her more. And it's usually because like she pesters him, but it's like nobody else can pester him as much as Moore can. Now, whether that's just because she's got stamina to pester or he just has like a soft spot for her, which we've seen that there's a somewhat like something you can see through it. It's not like well known.
There's some kind of weird love triangle happening.
Yeah. And so she's like, but he and Moore, they like never, and he's like, that's between them and Cassie. I'm not stupid or arrogant enough to get into the middle of it. So I put, so butt out, Feyre.
Yeah, for real. For real. I had something on 289 as well. The music. I was swooning.
I know. It's the same music that kept her.
Yes. Ugh. And she was like, you sent that music to my cell. Why? And then he said, because you were breaking and I couldn't find another way to save you. And I was just like, oh, right. Like swoon. Like, oh my gosh.
And it's so cool because he like let her see a little bit of Valaris without giving into it, you know?
Yes.
I also put, she was like the palace in the sky when I hallucinated a place between sunset and dawn, a house of moonstone pillars. Oh, I saw the night court. And I'm like, I know. And I can't believe I didn't fucking catch that when I first read through this. And only the second time when they're like moonstone pillars, I was like, what? That is definitely not spring court. And that is nowhere, anywhere in the mortal realm.
All right.
And then he's like, I didn't send you those images. And she's like, I didn't care. But thank you for everything. And it's like, whoa, hold on. You didn't send her. This is where it gets kind of weird. He didn't send her an image of this castle,
right?
Yeah. But she saw it.
And so she was still mortal at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
so like if she linked, was maybe the bond settling in with her at that point?
Right.
Because if he didn't do it and she didn't have any powers that she couldn't.
Right, to get back.
There's a deeper meaning into this.
Do you already know the deeper meaning?
I know something, but it doesn't explain this part. So, but here's the thing. The thing I know, it comes from Reese. So, like, Reese has known for a long time about, like, a secret that's coming up. But, like, she's never known about it, obviously, like, nothing. But it's just like, well, how has he known all about this, but she is thinking about this as a mortal? Like, it's just like, it's just fucking boggles my mind.
Also, I love the last sentence on 289.
You ruined everything.
You ruined everything. Like, it made me laugh.
Well, it's cute because she's like actually breaking down and like admitting like, thanks for everything. Like, you really helped me and all that. And he goes, even after the Weaver? After this morning with my trap with the Aptor? Oh. God damn it. Trying to be nice. But it's fine because he likes her fiery and feisty, so that's okay.
And then they start passing notes again. She's in bed reading.
Hold on. For 289, I put Reese really cared and tried all along to be a hero or like to be her hero, one or the two or both.
Yeah.
And it's like it didn't matter. Because, like, you know how I always think, like, Tamlin used her and never actually cared about her? And it's like, Reese didn't necessarily use her. but like acknowledges that she is of importance,
Right.
and continues to do that. And
Yeah.
anyways, all right. Anyway,
No,
290.
you're good. 290. They start passing notes back and forth again.
Oh, a challenge for a challenge.
Yes. I was just so like.
So he writes, "Who do you want to be? Do you want to be Reese or do you want to be Farrah?"
I don't care.
I want to be Reese because I think it's funny.
Okay.
I might be a shameless flirt, but at least I don't have a horrible temper, which is true. You should come tend my wounds from our squabble and the snow and bruised all over thanks to you.
Go lick your wounds and leave me be.
I'd much rather you licked my wounds for me.
Lick you where exactly?
Whatever you want to lick, Farrah. Oh, wait, I wasn't finished. I'd like to start with everywhere, but I can choose if necessary.
Let's hope my licking is better than yours. I remember how horrible you were at it under the mountain.
Challenge for a challenge. And then she's like, lie.
Yeah.
Where is it? Oh, I was under duress. If you want, I'll be more than happy to prove you wrong. I've been told I'm very, very good at licking.
Oh, and then he says,
Oh, you say goodnight.
oh yeah, good night.
Try not to moan too loudly when you dream about me. I need my beauty rest.
And then she throws the note in the fire and gives it a vulgar gesture, which I assume means she flipped it off.
And then I could have sworn laughter rumbled down the hall.
I literally wrote fucking finally. Also, I love that they're passing notes like school kids. Like,
Here's the thing. This is like such an innocent enemies to lovers,
yes,
like,
trope.
but, and the other one is just like, oh, he's domineering. I love him. And it's like, that's like, have you ever watched the movie 365 Days? I don't know why I said that. I don't know much about it, so anyone correct me if I'm wrong, but it's about, I think, like a really powerful person in like Spain or something like that. Massimo, I think his name is, or maybe that's from Fairly Odd Parents. I don't know. But he takes this girl and essentially is just like, you can't leave. Like, you gotta live with me for a year or something. I don't know, like the trope behind it, but basically, like, I don't think he rapes her, but like coerces her into having sex with her or him for like a long time. And I don't know if it's like BDSM or what, but it like, I'm told it's like 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, okay.
Kind similar, but like Stockholm Syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And then she like falls in love with him after like all the shit that he put her through. And I was like, and they lived happily ever after, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. I never watched it, but like that's what I'm like have read and has been told. And I'm just like, who the fuck wants to watch that? That pisses me off. I would sit there and I would resent my life. I'd be like, God damn it, I just want to fucking kill myself. Like, this fucking sucks. Screw you and your money. I don't give a shit. Although I might be like, I don't ever have to work a day in my life.
Right?
I just have to give up some time to you. Okay, but I can go. But actually, I don't think she can do whatever she wants. I think he literally keeps her under wraps. I don't know. I never watched it. I didn't feel like I wanted to, needed to, whatever.
That doesn't sound like my kind of
right. It just 50 Shades of Grey mixed with Beauty and the Beast. It's just
yeah. I just
and I guess it was just really there's a lot of sex in it. A lot of sex in it, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean that could go either way. Could be good, could be bad.
I think the majority of it is it's just like suck my dick. I'm gonna fuck you right now, kind of thing. I don't think it's like
Ew.
I don't think it's like wanted at first.
Ah.
But he's powerful and she's, I don't know. I'll have to look that up.
Ew.
So anyone correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be extremely incorrect. I might be thinking of a different movie.
Don't know.
I don't know.
Right.
Anyways.
Yeah, we're going to stop there because we are almost to an hour.
Yep. Peace out, Girl Scout. Till next time.
Bye.
Damn.